Hey everyone, it's Jason again. Welcome to part 2 of the Marvel Legendary Villain Deck Building Components game. Alright, so the first video we went through the villains you got to play as. So in part 2 we'll go through the heroes that you have to fight. So we're going to start off with actually a non-hero. We got one of the unique bystanders you can use. So this is a Rockstar. So when you kidnap this bystander, you kidnap another bystander. So it's like the heroes where you rescue them, the villains are actually trying to kidnap them. Then we have an engineer. So when you kidnap this bystander, reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 0, KO it. It's a way for you to get rid of cheap generic cards. Computer hacker lets you get more cards. And a public speaker, which gets you an extra star. What's nice is because even though they say kidnap, I love mixing all these different guys into my deck, into my set with any bystanders I use, just because it's more fun. Like every couple of times when you get a bystander in the game, it could be someone with a special ability, which just makes it a little bit more exciting than to try and rescue them or get them. And then here's just the bystander they use, Mary Jane Watson, rather than who they had in the original. Alright, so here's the bindings. If you watch the first video, we mentioned this. This is like the wound from the regular game. It's in your hand. It basically just takes up a card slot, so you can't do anything. But this also has a unique ability, where to get rid of a wound, you just basically had to not buy anything, recruit any characters, or attack. And you could get rid of all in your hand. This one says, if you don't recruit any allies or defeat any adversaries or commanders on your turn, so the same exact thing, you don't do any of that stuff, you may KO bindings from your hand. So it works the exact same way. But it has a stipulation. It says if you do, the player to your right gains all other bindings from your hand. So if you have one, you can just skip it and get rid of it. If you have 2 or 3, you can basically get rid of one of them from your hand, and then pass all the rest off to another player. So again, it's the villains betraying and turning on each other. So then we have the plot twist and the command strike. Plot twist is like the steam twist. So the heroes have plots instead of steams, and the commander strike is basically the master strike. It activates the commander's special ability. So, speaking of commanders, we're going to start off with Nick Fury. So, he always leads the Avengers, and he has this command strike ability. Alright, so we'll start off. He has Total Fury, the Avengers Initiative, Purge Hydra, Bounty on Fury's head, and then his Avengers, who have Ambush and Fight, which are the same as the other ones, and then Overrun. Overrun is the escape thing, so like where the villains are trying to escape, the heroes are basically trying to like attack. You can say they're trying to attack the villain's base, so they're overrunning it, overwhelming it. Also has a new keyword, it's not highlighted, but it's called Demolish. When this happens, and again, if I remember this correctly, Demolish makes you have to discard or KO the top card of your deck. Basically, it really hurts you when it comes out. So Hulk, of course, would be nasty at that. He comes out, he demolishes each player twice. Even if you're not fighting him, he still hurts you. Because then he does it when you fight him. And if he leaves, he does it again. So we have Thor. These guys are getting his ambush, KO, and a fight and an overrun ability. We have Ant-Man, who has Elusive. And Elusive, he has a number here, 4. So you have to pay. You've had to play at least 4 points of recruit stars, I believe, to be able to even fight him. I believe that's what it was. That's why it has a star here. So you don't have to have 3 attack, but you've had to play at least 4 other stars to recruit points to even attack him. It's supposed to be because he's diminutive, he's hard to fight. So Captain America, an Iron Man, a Wasp, well, it's elusive 7, but she only has one attack power then. So once you played 7, you can attack her. You pretty much are guaranteed to beat her. So that was our Avengers. Next up is Doctor Strange, the commander, and he leads the Defenders. Go through his. We have the Book of the Vishanti, the Wings of Watum. These are all his different spells. The Crimson Bands of Sidorak. Sidorak is also the Juggernaut. And then the Eye of Agamotto, the most powerful one. The Defenders then consist of Namor, the Submariner. Again, lots of these guys all have ambush effects, fight effects, and overrun. The villains didn't usually have all this. I think they made the villains game, the set, kind of like expert mode, like where the original heroes had a couple of difficult cards. I think they upped these where the costs on the villains to play them is more. They had more difficult abilities that often required 2 or 3 things. The enemies are harder to fight. Basically, like, hey, you're a villain, your life is difficult. So you also get Luke Cage, Iron Fist. To fight Iron Fist, you must also reveal 3 allies of different colors. So again, he's not hard to beat with that, but to be able to you have to play 3 other cards to even fight him. So I mean, like early in the game, you could draw 3 attack power easily, but you might not have 3 different colors. And then Daredevil. Our next commander is Odin. So he's going to lead the Asgardian warriors. He also has a special ability. He gains +1 for each Asgardian warrior in the city and in the overrun pile. So the more Asgardian warriors that come out, the stronger he gets, the more that we play. Basically gives him a permanent bonus because once they're overrun, you can't defeat them. He's got Ride of the Valkyries, the Might of Valhalla, Divine Justice, and the Riches of Asgard. And then his cards that he has, so instead of having a, what were they called on here? They're adversaries. Instead of villains, they're called adversaries. And then instead of henchmen, they're called backup adversaries. This is one thing, even with the rule changes and the different terminology, I did not like that it's called, you have heroes versus villains with their heroes versus masterminds, and then it went villains and then henchmen. Since you could tell there's a different hierarchy, and then this one it was a commander and an adversary, but I didn't like backup adversary versus henchman. I wish they would have called it something different, just because it makes it harder to, you have 2 words ever, they both have adversary. Just wish they had something different. But it's still a nice card, actually. You pay 3, you draw a card, and you defeat him. But yeah, this is one of the things where it's like a henchman, there's like 20 in the deck, or 10. So there's a lot of different ones. Alright, our next commander is Professor X. He leads the X-Men, the First Class. His telepathic imprisonment. You can see lots of these guys all have like abilities. Like Odin had one against the Asgardian emissaries of Asgard. This one has one against the Brotherhood. So each one kind of fights against their team. So if you mix and match the teams, it becomes harder. And he has telepathic pawn on here. It goes back to his ability. Mightiest Mutant Mind, Cerebro Device, Mental Dominance, and then we get to the first X-Men First Class. So we have Iceman. And it's actually the original X-Men, but it's like the current, like more current or modern versions of them. They also have the Extreme Attack ability, which every time this is played, they gain an extra attack for every other X-Men card in play, I believe. It has to do with something like that. Again, I don't remember these villain ones as much off the top of my head. Beast, Angel, Jean Grey, and Cyclops. Alright, and then we're going to get into some of the other non-commandered adversary groups. What I've noticed with this is, again, unlike the first set, they have, rather than just having 4 of the same characters multiplied twice, they have a bunch of different ones. So we have Spider-Friends. Of course, we're going to have Spider-Man. And I do love that he has a 2 attack, which goes back to all the Spider-Man cards that have come out so far, whether it's regular, Spider-Man Noir, Symbiote Spider-Man, they've all had a cost of 2, so it kind of kept that theme going. Moon Knight, who is also in the Spider-Man set. Black Cat. And then Firestar, which you'd be like, wait, why is she a Spider-Friend? From the old cartoon Spider-Man Friends. Now we have something a little bit interesting. It's the Uncanny Avengers. This is when they had some of the Avengers that are all and the X-Men kind of combined together. So we're going to have Wolverine, who again gets +1 for each card you draw. Kind of goes back and plays on the Wolverine cards from before. We have Rogue, Scarlet Witch, and Havoc. And then we have the Marvel Knights. So we get these guys based off the Marvel Knight groups. We have Ghost Rider, Elektra, Black Panther. Like this fight, each player draws a card, so that's pretty sweet. And then the Punisher. And then we have the Uncanny X-Men. Got a lot of different X-Men in this set. Storm, Nightcrawler, Shadowcat, Colossus, and then now we have the rest of the backup adversaries, or the good guys henchmen. Cops. We have Multiple Man from the X-Men. Shield Assault Squad. This is the new recruits card that we talked about several times. So, pays 2 to buy this. It has 1 attack, but says return this card to the new recruits stack. Draw a card, you still get the new recruits attack. So what makes this kind of different is they have like the Viper or the Maria Hill from the regular set. You buy them, they go in your deck. They're completely reusable. These guys, you gain 1 attack, you automatically get to draw another card. You lose this card, you get another card. So it's kind of, do I have enough points right now to buy or attack something? You could play this guy and potentially get another card to help. If you're like, well, I don't really have enough to do this turn anyhow. Anything I draw is not going to help me enough. You hold this guy in your hand, put him back, you basically get discarded. But then you have a chance of drawing him later. So it's kind of a neat effect to have. And again, I like to put those guys out, even if I'm playing the hero decks, just because it gives all the players an extra option. And now we have the plots. Resurrect heroes with Nora Stones. Mass-produce War Machine armor. Infiltrate the lair with spies. Crown Thor, King of Asgard. It's kind of a neat one. Put the Thor adversary next to the plot. If Thor is in the city, he overruns. Otherwise, Thor enters the bridge from wherever he is, and Thor guards 3 bystanders. Special, whenever Thor overruns, stack the plot twist from the KO pile next to the plot is a Triumph of Asgard. There are 3 or more triumphs. So basically, Thor escapes 3 times, he wins. Cage supervillains and power suppressing cells. Build an underground megavault prison. Graduation at the Xavier's Academy. And Crush Hydra. Alright, so that is what we have for the Marvel Legendaries villain set. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick update to the Marvel Legendaries villain, just adding this on to the end. I went back and looked up some of the keywords because I wasn't for sure what they did. I just wanted to clarify them in the video. The dodge ability on some of the villains you play allows you to discard this card rather than playing it to draw another card. So it's kind of like, hey, they can dodge out of the way and then somebody else or maybe another version of themselves can come in and attack. The extreme attack ability, I had said they gained one for every other X-Men. What it does is they gain +1 attack for every other extreme X-Men attack that's played on the field. So they can potentially get up to 4 other points every turn. Or 5 if the Mastermind has one as well. So basically, the more X-Men that get out, the stronger they get. They work as a team. And finally, there was Demolish. So when a card comes out that has Demolish, you reveal the top card of the villain deck. So if we had this, we reveal this. And then you do... each player has to discard a card equal to the number of the attack power or less. So if I drew Cyclops here... Oh, sorry. You drew Cyclops here with the Demolish effect. Each player would have to discard a card of 6 cost or less. So if you get a small card, it would cost less, do less damage, get a higher card. Like if you got another Hulk, they have to discard any card that's under 8. So that's what those do. Just wanted to do a quick add-on to that. See you guys later. Bye.